Hi, guys. Um, Good evening. Welcome. Please, if you can hear me clearly, please drop it in the chats that you can hear me and hear me clearly. Hello, Shalom. Can you hear me? Hi, Adi. Hello, Luabumi. Welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Atta. Thank you very much, Aisha. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Jumoke. Thank you, Anointed. So good. Thank you, love it. Thank you so much, Kola. Thank you, Blessing. Okay, perfect. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, SARS and Mars. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, Madhu. Hello, John. Welcome. Welcome. So we'll be starting shortly. We'll start in 5 minutes tops. We just need more people to join so that people don't miss out on the beautiful stuff we have for you guys today. So in the meantime, thank you so much, Eunice. Thank you, Grace. In the meantime, I would be playing a very short video for everyone to enjoy and anticipate, what we have for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to celebrate the top three high scorers and high performers in the JAMB 2025. Please put your hands together. I think that's bloody even peers.
Extremely humbled by the opportunity to be in a position to serve. And that humility is what drives us to want to continue to do more. I mean, days like this is really when you listen to Olumewa and Princess. Days like this is really when you look back and just realize that, wow, it's really all worth it. I want to say thank you. Starting before our tutors, students, I would just say thank you for trusting us. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We stepped into a world not knowing how far it was going to take us, but the participation we've gotten from tutors, the support from our parents, the students who apply themselves and actually lead on to greater achievement. Those are the things that have spurred us going for the last 10 years. So I would say thank you to our tutors for showing up, for doing great work, for putting up with us. I would say thank you to our customers, our parents, mothers and fathers. I would say thank you so much. You've kept us going, and I hope that our contribution in your family is something that is really valuable. I mean, we think it is based on the feedback we've gotten, but I really hope that we've been valuable to you as you have been valuable to us. And lastly, to the students themselves, I would say keep shining. You're part of our legacy, the thousands of you and the tens of thousands of you. And I hope to see you in the future doing amazing work, being, prosperous. And we'll be happy to say that Tuteria played a small part in achieving your big success. Thank you, guys.
Did we enjoy that video? Let me know in the chat. I'm going through the chats, to hear from you guys. Did we enjoy it? Did we even understand the video at all? We'll be starting in 2 minutes precisely, trying to get more people to join us, and then we would kick off. This is going to be a short session, but power packed, right? Thank you so much, Adesumbo. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Karim. Thank you, Keria. Ngozi, Gamsin. Thank you so much. Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much, guys. So I'd like to briefly tell us, about this session, what to expect, and then I would bring up, our special guest today who would be delving into everything and, walking us through how to scale JAMB in 2026, which is very important. We all know how important and pivotal JAMB is to every child. Right? I don't think anybody went to the university without doing JAMB. I'm not sure that's possible in Nigeria. We know university education is so important, right? So it's important that I don't even think JAMB should be this serious, right? It shouldn't be something that people are feeling this much. And I think it's a case of lack of information. So today will be my network. Is everyone experiencing this terrible network? I just saw Arome talk about network. Is any other person experiencing? Am I lagging? Is it clear on your end? A few thumbs up. Okay, so it's perfect. Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, welcome, guys. A brief introduction. My name is Priscilla Utukoya, and I am the head of growth here at Tuteria. We are so glad to have you guys. A little bit about Tuteria. We are a tutoring platform. We're the number one tutoring platform in Africa, right? So our major goal is to ensure that children and adults have access to quality education anywhere and everywhere, right? So we're trying to make education very accessible. We're trying to also break education down in the most digestible way. Everyone can excel, right? But not every platform, school, teacher is able to break down, education or knowledge in such a way that everyone can get it, because we all have like different methods of learning. We have different ways of assimilating. Because someone else is saying it's lagging. Um, I'd like to know if this is a general problem. It's not bad from your end. Okay, okay, okay. I'm so sorry, guys. Hopefully your network picks up. You know, hopefully it picks up soon. Not to waste, our time. Let's go straight into gathering up in the next 2 minutes. I'm not lagging. Perfect, perfect. So we'll start shortly. Okay, 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 okay. Perfect. So now we'll be bringing in our special guest. I'm going to say something about Godwin. Not alone is he my boss, right? But he's someone that when you hear his story and how he, moves, or no, let's talk about his education journey. I'm sure he's going to talk a lot more about that. But I think it's inspiring how he was able to, scale through, his education from the primary level to secondary. It's just to tell you that, every child, every ordinary child can become extraordinary. It's just how, you bring education to them, right? So you guys should anticipate, really. I'm not doing justice to what Godwin is going to bring up. So you guys clap there. A round of applause. Let's bring Godwin Benson, CEO of Tuteria, up to speak about how to help your child or help you score high in JAMB and not lose a year. Hi, Godwin.
Hello, Priscilla. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. It's good to have you.
Thank
Do
you.
you
Hi,
need?
everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Awesome.
I'll leave it to you
Great.
now, Godwin.
Okay. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is such a pleasure to anchor this session. What I would like to share in the next couple of minutes is how to ensure that you or your child gets the highest score possible in the forthcoming UTME. This is very important because if you consider the result of the last UME and all the things that happened where quite a lot of people didn't do so well, it makes this topic we're about to have today really important because we want to make sure that not only are we just sort of purchasing the JAMB form when it comes out in January, but also taking steps, the right steps to ensure that none of our children are amongst the number of people who are counted as those who did not do well. Instead, they should be counted as those who did phenomenally well. So this session in a couple of minutes will share our insights and hopefully answer some of your questions around how can you as a parent help your child do well, and of course, how can you as a student ensure that you get your highest score possible. So I'm going to be presenting a slide that will guide our conversation. And please ask your questions. You might have them, put them in the chat. I'm happy to take them. Just give me a minute to bring up my slides. Okay, just to confirm, can you see this on your end? If you can see it, just pop a comment in the chat. Just waiting to confirm that you can all see my screen. Yes, I can see that. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So what we're going to talk about today is how to help your child prepare to get 320 and above in next year's JAM. Now, it might sound, cliche to just throw out any number, but this is something we have proven. We've seen it work, and we're trying to share that with as many parents as possible because we are not happy with the results that we saw last year or this year in JAM. So I'll start by introducing myself, and at the end, there's we're going to share how you can win we can win scholarship for your child, and I think that's something that you would want to be a part of, so that you can offset the cost of paying school fees or getting laptops or anything to ensure that your child has all they need to become the successful adults you hope that they would be. So I'll just introduce myself. Priscilla has done some justice to it, but here's a bit about me. The reason I'm doing this is not to brag, but just to set the tone for what we would be talking about and also why you should listen to me a little bit. So my name is Godwin Benson, and the interesting thing about me is I'm an example of the narrative that no child is dull. It just depends on how they are taught, who teaches them, and the level of commitment you give to that child and how you even understand the child and get them to move from one level to another. So I remember in primary 3, I think, my elder brother asked me to spell the past tense of buy. Buy as in B-U-Y, and I spelled bot as in B-O-T, because that was how poor I was. I couldn't solve math questions correctly, and I would normally get 1/10 in exam or 2/10, and even 0/5 most times in my test. So I struggled a lot until my grandma taught me in primary 4. So then I was 20 out of 24 students in class. But by the third term, I'd moved from 20 to first. I was 20 at, first term. But by third term, I became number 1 in the primary 4 class. And I kept having first that way, primary 5, primary 6.
When I did WAEC, I had 3 A's, 4 B's, and 1 C. I'm still not happy about the C and about the B's as well. I was hoping I would get 8 A's, but somehow I had just 3 A's. And those were in chemistry, physics, and further math. And then when I took JAMB, which is what we are talking about, I had 298, even though I was aiming for 351. And this was in 2006. And then I went on to study systems engineering at University of Lagos. I had a first class. And not only did I have a first class, I was the best student in engineering in my faculty and the third best in the university in that year, which meant that I had a 4.89 CGPA. I did 72 courses in the entire 5 years, and I had 61 A's, 10 B, and 1 C. From there, I went on to work at ExxonMobil and then at Deloitte. But my passion has always been for education, because I went from being a challenge student to one who did extremely well. And I wanted to see how could I help many more people make the same transition. So that's why I resigned from those sort of big companies to start Tuteria, to help people excel in their academics, people like your kids, right? So a brief about Tuteria. We've been existing since 2014. So this is now like 10 years plus of running the business. We've helped over 120,000 children, mostly in Nigeria, but across other countries as well. And we've been able to see over 84% improvement in grades, in performance in exams, test scores, or even skills, competencies. And we have over 10,000 qualified tutors that we work with across the country. So we've been around for some time and are backed by some notable government bodies as well. Then what we'll be talking about today, is leveraging all the experience we've had. How do we ensure that we get the best out of UTME prep? So we'll look at this year's JAMB performance, what happened. Some of it you already know, right? We'll look at a breakdown of the score and talk about how to get high scores. Our focus is high scores, not 200, not 210, even though that's okay. But we want to see our kids getting 300, 320, 340, 350. Why is that important? It's important because the future depends on them. We are in a world where our children are distracted by social media. People push other narratives that is anti academic or school, or getting them to be interested in the thing that will create a beautiful future for them. So we as an edtech company have said, let's see how we can intervene and get people to become interested in academic excellence. How do we challenge, inspire, and get them to move forward to achieve phenomenal results? So we'll also touch on the science of passing UTME. Now, there's a science to it. There's a process to, if you follow the process, you're going to pass. You're not going to be among the list of those who did not pass, right? And it's not a secret, but there's a little bit of sweet juice in there. We're going to show how parents can support their kids to help them succeed. We'll tell you about our UTME program because we think it's phenomenal and you would be interested in finding out. And then lastly, how to win a part of this 10 million naira scholarship. So unlike people who, we don't see a lot of companies investing in education as they should, but Tuteria wants to change that narrative. So we've put aside 10 million naira to incentivize our children, challenge and make them study hard to be a part of that success. So let's just get into it. We'll look at last year's UTME. So for me, when I saw the results of 2024 UTME and also last year's UTME, I was very pained, extremely pained. I couldn't sleep for for like hours, because it kept bothering my mind that why are so many children failing? And as a concerned parent, you think about your child, think about the fact that this is important for their future. We have dreams of having the best doctors, the best engineers, the best software developers, the best accountants, economists, politicians. And this is the gateway to ensuring that they can build a better future for themselves. And when I saw this result where 78% of people got below 200, I felt like this is really bad. So what is the future of the country? What's the future of Nigeria as a nation if most of the children who are coming out of secondary school are getting below 200 in JAMB? So that's what made us at Tutoria say, you know what, we can't stand and watch. We have to do something about it. We have to intervene. We have to help. We have to work with parents, schools, students. What can we do to reverse this trend of people getting bad results? I know that there were some glitches on the technical end, and even after the retake, the result was still what is being showed, where out of 1.9 million people whose results were released or who took the exam, 1.5 million got below 200. I want you to think about that for a second. Out of 1.9, 1.5 got below 200. And then those that got between 200 and 300 were just 380. And those that had above 300 was just 12,000 from the entire country. From 1.9 million people, only 12,000 got above 300. So these are statistics that should make us worried. What that means is, do not underestimate how competitive admissions is going to be for your child. Think about your daughter, your son. Considering the number of people that failed last year, it means that while we had 1.9 million people who failed, who took the exam last year, you would expect that this 2026, you will have around 2.5 million students who would now have to take it again. Some of them did not get admission last year. Some of them, their scores were not great, or some maybe asked to take a course that they did not want, and something that they're not passionate about, and they may choose to take the exam again. So it's going to be more competitive because the schools cannot take more people. Think about, maybe you want your child to get to Unilag, Unizik, any school really. The schools have a fixed capacity, but there are more and more children who will be trying to get into those schools, which means it's going to be highly competitive. Most students are going to study really hard to make sure they get the scores necessary to get into those schools. It's going to be harder to get into the top courses. So if you want your child to study some of the top courses, the cutoff is likely going to be higher because there are more students. And then it means admission is going to be competitive. But this is not all gloom. It means that in the same way, you can't prepare for 2026 UTME casually. You need to have a plan. You need to start early, and you need to be more intense in the way you prepare them, because we don't want any of our kids to be among the 78% who get below 200. We don't want that. We want our kids to be high flyers. We want them to be successful. We want them to prove that they can take an exam and excel at the exam. And that's what we're talking about today. So our focus, like I said, is on high scores. Now, everybody can say we want them to score high. We want them to do well. But let me give you a glimpse into what it means to actually score high. So in the JAMB exam, there are 60 questions in English. There are 40 questions in other 3 subjects, if it's math, science, economics, government, whatever. And in order to get 300, it means out of 60 questions in English, you have to score 45 correctly. It means you only have room to miss 15 out of 60, which means you have to get most of the questions correctly. It means that in the other subjects where you have 40 questions, you have to be able to get at least 30 correctly. So you can see that the stakes are really high. Now, if you're going to aim for, even if you're aiming for 240, it means you still have to get 36 correctly out of 60 in English. And in other subjects, you need to get 24 out of 40. So there's not much room to get questions wrong. You have to get questions right. That's what this means. You have to know it, you have to master it, and you have to get it right. Now, I'm interested in the 320 mark because that's what we've proven that we can help a lot of students get to. It means to get 320, you have to plan to get 48 questions correctly in English and at least 32 in the other subject. So this should be the goal. As parents, we sit with our kids and say, look, we need to get you to that point where as you're taking the past questions, you're doing the quizzes and the mocks and whatever, your score is consistently moving towards 48 correct in English and 32 in the others, meaning you can't miss more than 8. Why? Because this shows that you need to prepare extremely well, and this is how you do well on the exam. My advice to all of us is let's aim high. You know, there's the proverb that says, if you aim for the sun, even if you don't meet it, you won't be far off. But if you aim, straight, you're likely to land on the ground. So we need to challenge ourselves and our kids to study hard and aim high. Because even if they don't get 320, maybe they will land at 300. If they aim for 360, maybe they will land at 320. Because that will determine how they will prepare, their motivation, and everything they put into their preparation to land at that score. So how do you begin to prepare for JAMB? Like I said, it's not really a secret. It's truly about practice. Practice truly makes perfect. I remember when I was doing JAMB, I must have practiced more than 20 different past questions. I had them all laid out, and I was practicing every single one. In fact, I remember when I did SAT, it's an exam for those trying to study in the US. And they had an essay section where you had to write an essay in 23 minutes. And, the essay was graded over 12. I kept practicing that essay and giving it to my English language teacher to mark until she could not correct anything in my essay. I wrote several essays and she made 0 corrections. And then, of course, when I did the essay in the main exam, I had 12 over 12. Now, someone would think that, how is that possible? How you get 12 in essay? It's simply because I practiced rigorously. So it's not enough to just do one question and you are casual, you do 2, you do 3, you do 4. No, we need to get our kids to doing minimum of 10. You need to get them to do it again, do it again, do it again until they develop the muscle to deal with the questions in the day of the exam. So the science of passing any exam, and I'm sure most of us know as parents, is rigorous practice. It's not just reading alone. Reading is important, but rigorous practice is really what gets you to the highest score possible. So we recommend how to get top scores. Number 1, practice up to 10 years of UTME past questions for each subject. Most times the questions come up again, like they repeat them maybe every 3, 2, 4, 5 years, depending on the subject. The questions recur, and you need the students to be familiar with the intensity of the exam, with the questions. Once they are familiar with the questions, they are almost 50% done, right? Next thing is, practice alone is not enough. You need to then see, when you practice, you start to spot the topics that you're struggling with, the topics you don't understand, the concepts that you're missing, the types of questions that you struggle with. For instance, some people can answer questions that have to do with recall, just how do you remember something? But some questions that have to do with reasoning, they start to struggle. It means that they've not understood that concept very well. So some questions might have to do with evaluation. How can you look at this scenario given and make an informed conclusion? They begin to struggle there. So when you practice a lot, you start to see the pattern of the questions that you're struggling with. And then that lets you know the areas to focus on, right? You begin to focus on those areas. And it's good for the parent to be involved as well. Like, take a practice, sit down. After you've done it, let's go through your reports, the results. Let's see what you did well, which ones you struggled in. Let's group them by topics. So you see, okay, is this particular topic that you don't understand? So tomorrow you're going to study that topic and then come back to practice again. You would notice your child's confidence and competence increasing steadily. The next thing we recommend is you take simulated mock exams. Why is that important? You know, most times, some people, when they don't do well in an exam, it's not because they don't know the concept or the topic or the questions, but because they've not mastered how to take an exam. Things like time management, confidence, dealing with fear, anxiety, making sure that you answer questions quickly. Those things, some students end up struggling just because they're not familiar with how to take the exams. And particularly for JAMB, because it's now CBT, it means that beyond learning about, answering questions quickly and all of that, the student has to now know how to use a computer. Now, that is an extra layer of knowledge that they need to have, how to make sure I can select my answers, move to the next page, start the exam, and I'm not afraid because I have to use a computer. So that's why we say take timed CBT mock exams that simulate the exam condition. Put yourself under the time. In fact, we often say reduce the time a little bit so that you're under a bit more pressure and see how you fare with a little bit of shorter time. Once your child does this often, your road to getting 320 is very, very easy. Now, we want to give you a bit of a cheat sheet here. So we've all heard about AI, AI here, AI there. What's up with AI? Now, we've used AI in a very different way. So this last JAMB, we challenged ourselves to say, how can we use AI to help reduce the time it takes for a student to be ready for JAMB and get the highest score possible? So here's what we did. We took JAMB questions from 2010 to 2024 at the time. That's 15 years of JAMB questions. And we ran that through an AI model we built to study the pattern, the trends, the repetition, difficulty level, and really have a deep understanding of the JAMB questions over 15 years. Now, what that made us do is we could now predict what the next JAMB was going to be. So when we saw, and this is really exciting, like when we saw that 2024 JAMB result wasn't good, we said, okay, for 2025, let's test out this AI intervention, get all the questions, dissect and understand them, and then let's see if we can predict next year's JAMB. That's 2025 JAMB. If you understand statistics and mathematics, just like your weather forecast, right? When your weather app says it's going to rain tomorrow, that's a prediction. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes is not, but it's based on many years of the data of rainfall on that particular day for the last 20 years. So once you look at that data, you can now predict. It almost feels like magic that by 12 p.m. this next day is going to rain. Not because they have seen the rain, but because they can predict based on data. So we decided to do something like that for JAMB, that can we predict the actual questions that will come out? Almost like Expo, but it's not really Expo. Can we predict the exact questions in English, in chemistry, in biology, in physics? We did that, and we were able to generate very interesting and focus areas, like the topics to focus on, the questions to practice, the kinds of questions to deal with across different subjects. And then we said, okay, so if we get students to practice these questions, practice these topics, focus on these areas, let's see how we can help them get to their desired JAMB score. in addition to, rigorous practice? And then can we also predict their actual score? Like based on how you're studying on our platform, can we predict what you are likely to get in the exam? So what that means is you as a parent, you can see your child's real-time predicted score to say, based on all that he's studying, we think that he's going to land at 250, 260. You can then say these are the areas where he's struggling. If he gets stronger on this topic or that topic, it can move his score to like 280. Very interesting thing that AI did. Now, what was the result of all that intervention? So we did a small test for this 2025 JAMB, the one that was just done, and we had tremendous result. We did a 10 weeks prep where we got a few students. We didn't try to put it out there. We wanted to test this idea of an AI-powered JAMB prep that gives them deeper insight into how exactly to get the highest score possible. So we ran the kids through a 10 weeks prep course, and we saw that 88% of people got above 200. Unlike the main JAMB, where 78% got below 200, we had 88% getting above 200. And so comparing our results with the national average, you can see that from the group of students we had, 12.5% got above 200 against 0.3% national average. So we did extremely well. Half of the candidates got between 250 to 300. So, we did more than the national average there as well. And then 25%, one fourth, got between 200 and 249. And then a small fraction, 12.5%, got below 200 in the main JAMB exam. So in summary, what we did actually worked. So these are some of our top performers. We had Omolaja, who had 341. What's interesting about Omolaja is when he joined us for the 10 weeks prep, he did the JAMB mock and he had 240 on the JAMB mock, 240. So in 10 weeks, having done the mocks every day, joined the classes and followed through the process, he had 341 from 240. That's ridiculous. Like, he did not even believe it. When he saw his result, he said, oh, this can't be me. Maybe something is wrong. Like, I can't get 340. I'm not the kind of person that gets 340. But this shows that we subjected them to rigorous practice powered by AI, and he was able to go from 240 in the JAMB mock to 341 in the actual exam because of what we had offered. And not only that, he also got the 1 million naira scholarship, which has been paid to his school as school fees, and he got admission into Babcock University. In fact, I remember one thing he said, that he was thinking of going to Babcock initially, but because they didn't have the money, he was considering FUTA. But the minute he won the scholarship, he said, I'm going back to Babcock. And that got us really happy to see that, his dream was not shortchanged, but he worked really hard. He showed up for all the mocks. He was there every day doing the mocks, doing the practice, joining the classes, and his score was the highest that we got from that group. Second was Chinonso from Port Harcourt. He had 338. He had a similar story. When he did mock, he had like 278, but then with our study and process, he got 338 out of 400. And he also got the 500K scholarship. Then lastly, we have Princess. She had 317, and she did so well in physics. She had 94 in physics. And I'll play her testimonial, and she got 250K scholarship. So it showed that what we tested actually worked. Now, a bit of, advice to parents on how to take advantage of all of this. We think that as parents, you need to support your child on this journey. One of the things that Omolaja said was his dad was the one who heard about us and prompted him to join. That I think I like these guys. I like what they're doing. Go and register there. And the dad kept checking on him. Make sure you've joined. Don't miss your class. Make sure that they feel like we are on this journey together. So some things we recommend that you can do. Set an achievable score goal. Don't let them just prepare without a goal. Let them know that, look, get 320, aim for 300. And in this case, now there's tutorial that is saying, hey, if you get this score, we are going to inspire you with a bit of scholarship. But you as a parent can work with your child to set a goal. Let it be that we are working towards this goal. If it's 240, 280, 300, 320, that's fine, 350. Make sure there's a goal you're working towards. Secondly, create a structured study plan. Let there be times in the day where they read, times in the day where they practice. Organize their study for them. Don't let them just do it on their own, because like we said, rigorous practice is really where the secret sauce is. Provide them the right materials and resources if you have access to that. Enforce. I didn't say ensure. Yeah, I said enforce regular practice and mock exams. In fact, you can say something like I do with my daughter. If you wake up in the morning, you don't watch TV until you have practiced, you've solved some questions, and you bring them to me and I mark it. You don't watch TV, right? Enforce that they practice and they do the mock exams regularly, because that's how they would actually pass. The next thing is, like I said before, ensure familiarity with computer usage. If they're not used to it, make sure they get used to it, and I'll show you how you can do that. Then, of course, motivate them. Make sure they are not under a lot of pressure. Give them confidence. And an important thing you can consider to do is to enroll them in our 2026 UTME prep. Now, with what we've done from 2025, we think the results are really good. Our initial attempt was to see how can we fight back the failure rate in this exam. How can we ensure that we do something and intervene? Let's not wait for government. Let's not wait for anybody. Let us do something. Our intervention has shown that we discovered something that is working, and now we want to take that to many more people to help them succeed. We want to bring it to your child. We want to bring it to you to say, this is how we think we can help you cross this hurdle and get to your desired outcome. So what's our training about? So Tutorials 2026 prep is the most advanced prep. Like we say it with a lot of confidence, because not just are they, are kids just going to log in and be practicing on their own? No, we put together a full program, like comprehensive, everything in one place. What does it entail? Instead of 10 weeks, which is 2 months that we did the last time, we're now making it 4 months, where from January 2026, we need to start early, like I said, because it's going to be competitive. We need to start priming our kids to be getting ready for JAMB. So we start on the 5th of January and prepare them all the way to April. That's the week before they go for the actual exam. Now, what does the preparation entail? They're going to be having daily live classes. Some classes are in the morning, some in the evening. You choose whichever one based on your child's availability. So, for instance, if they go to school and they're back by 4, the evening classes, I think, are from maybe 4 to 6 or 5 to 7. So they join live classes. They also take AI-powered quizzes. Like I said, we've already done the AI model that shows, look, if you're going to get 350, solve all these questions, solve many of these questions, you're going to get there. So all that practice is made available on the platform, and they are going to be practicing that at every class, every day. Small questions, sometimes it's just 5 questions, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 2, 3, 4, to just make sure that every day they are solving questions, right? They are practicing questions. And I remember what Muyiwa said, the person who got the highest score. He said most of the questions that I saw in the actual exam, we did during Tutorial's mock. He actually said that the questions were so familiar, I was just ticking. That's because of the AI elements we put in there that predicts the actual JAMB questions. So in those 4 months, they're going to take mock exams. I mean, we simulate the actual JAMB exam so that they are timed. The exam starts at maybe 2 and ends at 5 every weekend on a Saturday or Sunday. They are scheduled to take a mock, which means you as the parent, you must make sure that at that time, your child is seated in front of their computer and ready to take the mock. They take the mock, they get instant scores, not only scores, but also a breakdown of all the topics and skills and challenges where they are really struggling and what they need to do to improve their score. You see that in real time as a parent. Then, of course, like I said, there are classes they join. Every week, we also have weekly, we bring some students who have done extremely well to also share tips on, life in the university, how they got their dream score, just to inspire them to know that this is possible. Because sometimes once your child can listen to another child that is in 100 level in a school like maybe University of Lagos or Covenant, who has just passed JAMB the last year, and this person got 340, and he's saying, this is what I did to get 340. It inspires your child to want to work hard. That's what we want. We want to see more children embracing academic excellence, not just social media, chatting, TikTok, twerking and all those things. As parents, I'm sure it worries us that, we were serious when we were in school. Like, we studied, we worked hard, went for night class, we did tutoring, we did a lot. But then we want to make sure that our kids have that competitive nature that gets them to study hard. So we also have weekly prizes. Every week, we give out, I think, 10,000 to the top 10 people, 10,000 naira, to the top 10 people who score the highest in the mock. The mock exams are every weekend. So once you're the highest in the mock score, Tutoria gives you 10,000. Not because we want to use money to attract them, but we want to incentivize, that we want to make them feel like there is reward for hard work. Unlike everywhere else that doesn't really reward academic excellence, Tutoria is saying that if you work hard, we're going to support you. So all of this is available from January to April. Last year, we charged 35K because it was the last JAMB, it was 2 months, the entire 2 months, 35K. This year is 50K because it's 4 months and it's a lot more in there. But for you on this call, if you click on that link, you'll be able to sign on for the same 35,000 for 4 months, from January to April. It's not 35,000 per month. It's 35,000 for the entire month, which is the cheapest you could ever find for something this transformational. So I recommend you, go to that URL and sign on against January. Like I said, you need to start early, prepare your child, make sure they are ready for JAMB by April. The subjects we are focusing on for now are English, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and biology. So if your child is taking any or all of those subjects, please go and register. I beg you to do so, because I'm sure that this is the most advanced way to prepare for JAMB. It doesn't just leave them to be taking practice on their own. The teachers we've hired are the best in Nigeria, exceptionally good. You're going to see them once you join. There are people who have had 15 plus years preparing people for JAMB, GCE, NECO, and the rest of the exams, and have impressive track record. Some of them first class in BSc, first class MSc, and they're bringing all that academic excellence and rigor into your child, right? To get them from wherever they are to where they need to get to. Meaning, any topic they don't understand, there is the best person in chemistry, the best guy in maths, the best guy in physics, the best guy in all the subjects, ensuring that they do exceptionally well. So you can have all of that for 35K. And you can also sign on with a 10K deposit. So if you don't have the 35K right now, 10,000, lock your space in before the exam in January. Before the training starts in January, you can pay up in smaller amounts. So we think that we've done our bit to make it affordable, make it, within reach for most families. And I do recommend that you sign on. And then lastly, I'll speak about how to win the scholarship. So last year, we gave 1 million to the top student. We gave 500K to the second, and then 250K to the third. But this year, we decided to do something better. We're taking it a notch higher. The first student will get 2 million. This is the student in the actual JAM, the score, the JAM, the person that gets the highest score in JAM, because we want to make sure that if you work hard, Tuteria will back you. We want to show them that if you are hardworking, Tuteria will back you. We've given you the tools, we've given you everything. We're also going to put our money there as well. We'll pay your school fees, we'll give you a laptop. In fact, all the three candidates, we gave all of them automatic internship with our company. So every holiday, instead of them staying at home, they will come and work in Tuteria, and they will be paid every month because we believe that they are exceptional. We want to put our energy behind them, because if you track back to my story, I came from struggling to excellence, and I'm trying my best, God help us, that we can do that for millions of children. But of course, there's a cost to it. But beyond that, we're saying that, look, if your child comes at the top, we give you 2 million plus a scholarship. If you are the second, you get 1 million and scholarship. If you're on the third, you get 500K and scholarship and laptop rather. And then everybody from number 4 to number 10 will all get laptops sponsored by Tuteria. This is going to aid their studies in the university, and we want them to excel. So briefly, I'm going to play a short video.
My name is Princess Laria Kirami. I recently sat for the 2025 UTME after intensive online classes at TuteriaPrep.
Hello everyone, my name is Ayolua Laria Kereme, Princess Laria Kereme's mom.
I conquered JAMB. My final mark was 317 for the JAMB exam, and physics was my highest, 94. I have no doubt whatsoever that it was thanks to Tuteria that my physics was so high, because I was shocked. I and my mom were really, really shocked because I had problems in my physics. But thanks to Tuteria, I didn't have any problem with that during JAMB. Actually, a lot of past questions Tuteria did, mock, practice questions. I saw a lot in my JAMB, both the first one and the second one, and I was just, anytime I see those questions, I'll just smile and I'll be like, thank you, God. Thank you for this opportunity. The experience was not easy because I had to go to school, and then I signed up for the evening classes. I would go to school, and then I also had school classes too, JAMB classes. Then I'll come back and then start Tuteria again. But overall, it was a beautiful experience.
I'd like to say that I cannot underestimate Tuteria's impact on Princess' overall performance. Emphasis on her mock examinations. Tuteria had this habit of sending us mock examinations back to back every Saturday, and it was timed. So it was very, very detailed examination she had to write. And then for me, what was most important is the fact that after writing the examinations, they send us results. Not only do they send us results, the results are properly analyzed, detailed. So what they normally do is when they send the results, they do a list of all the topics that were covered in the mock examination. And then with that list, they do a breakdown of the child's performance in the different topics. So with that, we were able to analyze and break down the topics where we needed to do some extra work with Princess. And we were able to overcome our physics with that, because that gave us an eye-opening. It was an eye-opener for us that we needed to work on some topics in our physics. It was a wake-up call for us. And I really, really am very grateful to Tuteria, because I know that without Tuteria's help, we would not have gotten to where we are. We are grateful to Tuteria, and we are grateful to God. Thank you.
Thanks to school, thanks to my hard work, thanks to Tuteria's hard work with me, I was able to really, really conquer JAMB. I was so proud of myself, and I'm so happy, and my parents are so proud of me. So thank you so much, Tuteria. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I wanted you to hear from Princess as well. And that takes us to the concluding part of our slides, where I'm just going to call on us as parents, students, if you are, and I'm sure you all are for joining this webinar, if you are, like me, interested in seeing your child really excel in the forthcoming UTME, please go to this URL, www.tuteria.com/UTME. It's very simple. Sign up, fill the form. If you're able to make payments right away, please do. But make sure that you register, because this is going to be the most impactful JAM prep for 2026, and we're looking to help as many people as possible. So thank you very much for your time. I hope that this has been helpful. And Priscilla, you can take it on from here.
Thank you so much, Godwin. That was so nice. I will be taking questions now. But while I do that, I would also like, remind us why this is important, right? And I would like to paint a scenario of, what happens if you don't take action now and you let your child fail JAM next year. That's an entire year you let them lose, right? Because one thing would happen, either they fail and don't get into any university, or they eventually settle for universities that probably don't even have accreditation. Those universities that go to JAMB and just get all the people that failed and just use them to, build their uni or have their first session. You don't want to do that to your child, right? Imagine being in 300 level, 400 level, and you realize that this school doesn't have an accreditation, and then, they've just wasted their years, right? And you've spent a lot of money. So let's get it right. I'm sure universities are going to be very competitive again next year, because look at the number of people that failed this year. That's 1.3 million plus. That's in addition to another 2-3 million who would register freshly, you know for JAM next year. So it gets competitive every year. And to ensure that your child doesn't lose a year, and if you're a student here, to ensure that you don't lose a year, right? You don't end up doing a course that you don't necessarily want. Imagine wanting to study medicine and you're having to settle for, maybe animal science. No shade to animal science, but you can see how far off that is. So that's really not what you want, and then you don't want to end up settling because you're desperate to just get into university. So take action now. I don't know if Godwin mentioned that, we only have very limited slots, but let me, reiterate that we don't have that many slots, to give. So take action, secure your slot at the very least. If you cannot pay the 35K now, which is also a limited offer, we're taking it back to 50K, you after some days. I'm not sure this offer is going to, linger for so long. So we're going to take it back to 50K. So to seal your slots, because once it gets too competitive, we'll jack up the price just so that we can, reduce intake. So take the opportunity right now, sign up, right? Or secure your slots with minimum of 10K, I think. And that's fantastic. You don't want me to, let me tell you, I said I was going to do this. Let me tell you why this is the best offer ever. I remember when I was preparing for JAM, right? My school then had like a special JAM preparation and JAM class, right? And I remember we were billed almost 50K a month, right? For rigorous JAM classes. Do you get? Of course, it helped, but that's a lot of money. And I don't even remember scoring 300, let alone 320, right? I just barely made it, to be very honest. So, yeah, this one is, we've tested it, we have results to prove or to show for it, right? And not alone are we um, interested in people passing, we also are interested in rewarding hard work, right? We want to support your child beyond them passing. We also want to see, in our own little way, support you in getting them into school. We're very particular about the future of Nigeria, the future of, work in Nigeria, the future of, Africa as a whole. So please take advantage of this. Before we go into question, another thing is, if you have, I noticed the question, which I'm going to get to. Someone was asking, how students who are in boarding school can take advantage of this, right? So I think what we can do is you send us the school's contact, introduce us to the school, right? We can work with the school and find a way to get this to the school, right? Just do that introduction, and we would, try our best to make it happen. You've heard from us, and you believe in what we've said, so just introduce us to your child's school, and we can work with the school to, help them onboard their students. The fantastic thing about this is that the school can actually monitor every student's performance, right? And also on a weekly basis, see, how they are improving, around topic mastery, right? And also score projection. So they can, tell, are they doing well? If this person is supposed to, if they were to write JAMB next week, what's their score looking like, right? So without wasting more time, I'm going straight to questions. So if you have any question, please drop in the chat. I will get to it. So, Godwin, are you ready for our questions?
I am.
Yes. So I'm going to take this question from Olua Demilade. Says, when you are signing up, is it the child's name or parent's name we will take? We are interested in both information, the parents and the child, right? Maybe not the contact detail of the child, just the name of the child. But we are it's what's important is the parents' detail, because we would like to share updates with you as a parent. We want you to be able to do this with us, right? Um, Godwin, did I answer it well, or do you want to add to it?
Perfect.
Okay,
Can you
someone.
hear me?
Yes, I heard you. So the next question is: it's like your tutorial is only for science related courses. What are business courses? So I think that's commercial. Godwin, do you want to
Okay.
take that?
Yes, I'll take that. So we want to start from somewhere before we get into the other subjects. Like I said, the unique thing we're doing is beyond just the prep itself, is the AI part to it that we're really, really excited about, that ensures that not only are we just preparing randomly, we're taking you directly to getting the highest score possible in the exam. So we're still building our capacity around the science subjects. I'm sure by next year we'll be ready to do that on the commercial subjects. However,
Okay.
it does commercial and art. However, if your child is taking math, taking English, which I think everybody's taking, they can still sign on, and we're still going to support them through it, at least for those subjects.
Okay. Thank you. This is also another question around boarding school, right? So it's still the same thing. I would say make an introduction, or just tell us the name of the school and the number that we can call, and let's see if we can get the school onboarded. We are particular about those in boarding, but I think we need to work with the school, to get this done. So please make that introduction. I'll pin the so you can call us here, or you can just reach out to us on this number, and everything can be resolved, hopefully. um, we want to serve everyone, just that there are technicalities around some of these things. So I'm moving to the next question. Next question is, please, what is the schedule of the classes, especially evening classes? How many days in a week?
Thank you. So, yeah, the evening classes are going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Initially, we can structure it to be 3 days in a week for a start. But as you get closer to the exam, it's going to be every day in the week, which means your child can join the classes that is for them. We have 5 subjects, and the classes are happening every day, but your child will take only 4 maximum. So you join the 4 that is relevant to you, and the classes are also recorded So the children can still go back to it to read it, but we encourage that they actually join. So that's what it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Every evening, and also the morning class I think is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for those that are free in the mornings to join.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The next question is still around what provisions do you have for art students?
Art students, we love you. We really do love you. We really do love you. And I wish we could handle everything at the same time. But
Yeah,
considering team capacity and all of that, we had to focus, we had to start somewhere. But
yeah,
I'm sure and I guarantee you that by next year, we will have come to other subjects as well. And let me
yeah,
also stress to say that this is an online training. It's not offline, it's not physical, it's online. So your child can join on their phone, on their laptop, or on their tablet. And that's just for the classes. There's also the test, the mocks, the things that shows all your results, your score prediction is an app that they're going to study on. They can do that on a phone, on a tablet, or a laptop. So you can do that from the comfort of your home, but still go through the rigor of preparing for JAMB. So it's not watered down in any way, but it's online.
thank you very much, Godwin. The next question is when are the classes starting? I think this
Uh,
classes are okay. Should I take that?
you can go on.
Okay, so we're looking to start the first week of January, right? We want to get into it as quickly as possible, right? It's a long ride to, master every topic, right, on different subjects. So we don't want to take chances and start late. We are serious about this 320 that we want to deliver. So it's important that we start early. So first week of January is when it would start. But of course, you may be able to start taking diagnostic tests from maybe December-ish, where you're just, warming up, ahead of the classes. The next question is, okay, I think we answered this already. How will the child attend the tutorial on phone or laptop? Yes, yes. Godwin just answered that. So it's going to be online and you can access it on phone or laptop. In fact, the app is optimized for all devices, right? So you can, I mean, if your child doesn't have a mobile phone, you can give them your phone or your laptop to use for 2 hours, just to get their mock test done, to attend their classes, and you'll be happy with it. So venue, please, it's an online class. What time? We have different sessions. Is the morning, and then there is evening. The next question is, what is the class structure like? Say someone signs up for morning class, how many hours per day and week? Godwin, do you want to take this?
Yes, the classes are. I think it's 2 hours for each day. So if you're joining the morning class, you have 2 hours, two subjects, 1 hour per subject, right? To explain certain topics and make sure you understand and you take some practice. And that happens initially might be 3 times in a week, but closer to the exam is going to be every day of the week. So you join the classes every day. Yeah.
Thank you. So the next question is from Jemima. She said, why can't the UTME program classes start earlier, like this November, instead of January, so we have more time? Fear not,
I would have
Jemima.
loved for you to start earlier, but 4 months is enough. Like I said,
Yeah.
Jemima, with the AI thing we've done, you wouldn't need so much time as long as you are focused on doing all the mocks, doing the assessment, doing the practice, like following through very religiously. You're going to be ready to get 300 and above in 4 months. It's that good. Yeah. And we will start in January with some of the diagnostic, sorry, in December with some of the diagnostic tests. So like Priscilla said, like warm-ups. You'll be able to take some tests to start seeing where you're strong at, where you're weak at, just to help you prepare towards when we're starting in January. So January will be good to go.
Um, Ebenezer is asking for account number to pay. Ebenezer, please you go to tuteria.com/UTME. It's so easy. Once you fill in your details, you go straight to payments. There's so many payment options there. There's card payment, there's bank transfer. It's very, very easy. Jane is asking, what of WAEC? Does Tuteria handle it?
Yes, we'll be doing WAEC as well next year. So, but we're starting with JAMB. Then we'll come to WAEC, NECO, GCE, IGCSE, every exam basically. So this is a good way for you to get on board now and still be within the system when we start to do the other exams. And just to double click on how to sign on, you need to go to www.tuteria.com/UTME. Very simple. Fill the form there and register your child. The fee for you is 35,000. It's 50,000, but we are bringing it to 35,000 for a limited time so that you can sign on. Now that 35,000 is for 4 months. So if you divide it by 4, that's just barely 8,000 naira per month for you to contribute towards your child's success. And we've also brought it a bit further down that you can, if you don't have the 35K to pay once, you can also pay 10,000 to secure your slot. This is because we are working with a limited number of students. We want to know those we are going to prepare for so that by the time we're starting in January, we know the number of people we are ready to give them 100%, right? So how to sign on again? The URL is on your screen. Just take out your phone, type tuteria.com/UTME, fill the form there. You see a button there to click to register. Register yourself and your child, and you need to make a deposit of 10,000 naira to secure your slot, or if you can pay the entire 35, you can do that. So that once we start the diagnostic test in December, we'll send you a link for your child to log in and start taking the practice, which you can see in real time. You can see the things they are practicing, the scores they are getting, the topics they are struggling with, and then prepare for their classes to start in January. So the classes are recorded, but it's not just class. Like I said, there's mock, there's practice, there are quizzes, there are questions. It's a full service system to ensure that when it's time for JAM, they are fully ready to get the highest score possible. Just like Princess, who you heard on that video.
Thank you. So I
Any other
wanted to
question?
show, yes, I don't know if my screen, I'm trying to show everyone how to sign up.
Okay.
But yeah, let me, there are other questions. So this question is still around, other um, faculties outside of sciences. So I think what, I think you should look at it from this angle, right? The most important subjects, that they all have in common is maths and English, and oftentimes probably even the most difficult to pass. So that's why we have those on Tuteria. We are starting with sciences, but by next year we would introduce others. Although I want to put Godwin on the spot, I'm going to put him on the spot. But Godwin, is it possible that maybe we can help students in the social science and art, maybe by giving them mock, maybe like mock exams weekly on their subjects. Are they called subjects or yeah, subjects,
Subjects,
right?
yes.
Yeah, let's have mock tests for them on a weekly basis. We only cannot provide live classes on these courses, but we can actually, provide mock. tests or something. What do you think about that?
I think we can try. You know,
Yeah.
we can get I think we can actually between now and January when we start, put together some practice quizzes and mocks for art students. I think we can. I'm not going to promise it 100%, but I'm saying we're going to try to make that possible. And if we can, please, if you've signed on, we're going to send an email to you to let you know that we're now supporting other subjects like government, economics, literature, and things like that. So yeah, we'll see what we can do to make that possible.
Okay. So please can you confirm if you can see my screen?
I can.
Okay. Just before we continue with the questions, I think we have a few left. I just wanted to show us how to, sign up, right? Before we go there, you can also see more success stories and read um, more details on the things Godwin already shared. But let's go back to sign up. Just going to now, as a parent enrolling your child, you need to tick this, right? I think I should make this on mobile view, since that might be how a lot of people are enrolling. So if you're a student, you toggle on this. If you're a parent, this, right? And then you fill in the student's information. We need to get their subject combination, right? We advise you to please ask your child what course they want to, study, and what the combination for that course is. Is very important, so we don't mix, so we don't have, cases where we're having to change the subjects that they picked and all of those manual efforts. So, say for instance, they're doing maths, physics, and chemistry, right? You do this, right? So if you have, I'm going to give you an instance of if you have more than one. Let me just fill in my details. So sometimes you might mistakenly skip this title. Please, you have to fill it, right? If not, your form wouldn't, go through. Your morning lessons are between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., evening 5 to 8 p.m. So you choose, if your child is going to be using your device to join this session, please think about your availability, especially on during the week, before you choose this, so that we don't have to, change. Of course, we're open to, helping you switch if that's important. But yeah, I just thought to share with us. So if you do have any question, please let me know. So I'll go back to um, the questions. I have one. Can my child write the mock exams with a phone? Does it have to be a computer? Yeah, so I mentioned that it doesn't have to be a computer. You can definitely do this on the phone, right? The app is optimized for phone. So it means that whatever device you use, it is optimized for you to, have like seamless experience, on it and run the test. But I would advise, if you can, get a laptop so that they have the exam experience, right? This is supposed to be a simulation. It's supposed to be a look-alike of what the exam would be or look like. So there's a timer, this is the whole experience. So we want to see how well they do, with time management. It's not only the questions, right? We're grooming them for time management. We're grooming them for, working under pressure. So it's a lot of things that, that helps you with. I think, can the link for the group be sent? Can link be sent to the group? Yes, definitely. Definitely. Someone is going to drop it in the chat in the community immediately. And if you'd like to join the community, please let us know. We'll definitely share you the pin. Do you have a package for boarding school pupils? Yes, 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 we do. I would pin our number. Adewale, please can you put in, the number to call for these boarding schools, and also like parents who would like to maybe sponsor people, um, people who are looking to maybe pay for. There is no physical class. Meminat, I'm sorry, I've been seeing that question since. There is no physical class for this. We're trying to reach more people and help more people pass JAM, and it's almost impossible for us to put everybody, in one place, right? We're looking to reach people not only in Lagos, in other states in Nigeria. Where's the account to pay in? Please use the link to make payment so that there is seamless enrollment for your child. It's important that we make that payment on the website. Sorry, how much are we to pay? My network is breaking. So it's 35K. It's 35K because you are joining this session. You pay 35,000 naira. If you don't have the entire 35K, you can deposit with 10,000 naira. But I think we need to put a link for that 10,000 naira. I don't think it's um, on the site. So I'll be adding that. Um, Godwin, do you want to answer this before I get the link for?
Yes, sure, I can. So how much are we paying for 4 months? It's 35,000 naira that is discounted for you to pay, and that covers January, April. It's not month on month. So, and also we don't charge month on month. We just one fee. Why do we do that? We want you to be committed. We don't want to say maybe you paid 8,000 the first month, 8,000 second month, and when you don't have money, your child is kicked out. We don't do that. So it is 35,000 for 4 months. But you can think about it, it's just around 8,000 naira per month. So, but to sign on, you can pay at least 10,000 to secure your slot in the class. Even if you're not able to pay right now, like on this call, still sign on, then plan to pay maybe tomorrow or next, or as soon as possible, just to make sure that you get yourself locked in and you can start preparing your child to know that by December they're going to take the diagnostic test, and by January we'll start the actual class. So it's 35K for 4 months of JAMB prep, inclusive of everything: classes, AI mock test, practice quizzes, reports, everything in one go. Let me take this as well. How do we get the AI jam test, please? Yes, so what you need to do is register, right? It's only going to be those who actually register that get access to the portal, where that's where you do the AI powered jam prep, right? It's going to be within the app. So please register. That's the first way to get on board for us to be able to work with you.
Thank you very much, Godwin. Um, this is the question. The next question. Please, I'm a working class and I close from work by 8 p.m. Is it possible to enroll, and what time does the class start per day? So, hi Adiwale. Are you doing this? Are you doing JAMB yourself, or you are enrolling your child? Right? We have two sessions. We have the morning and evening sessions, right? Morning is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and evening is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., right? So if you're enrolling your child, it would be nice to maybe provide a device for them. maybe for the evening session or the morning session, depending on your child's schedule as well, right? And if it's for you, you might have to I would let you decide, which one you can squeeze in into your schedule. But the two sessions are 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please, I need your phone number so as to get in touch. Adewale, please, can you put your phone number in the chat? Um, okay. Can my child take the mock exams with a phone? Yes, yes, yes. Is it only going to be science subjects? There is maths and English right there. So everyone eventually can benefit from this. But we just have more subjects for the sciences. Can I pay during the tutorial? It's actually a risk if you have to wait till January. It's a risk. I would advise that you secure your slots with a minimum of 15K. Secure your slots today, and then you can pay the rest maybe in December, or speak with us, and then we would, find a way to help you, keep that slot. But we cannot guarantee that we will be able to take signings in January, right? Because we would like to know the numbers that we are preparing. Is it compulsory to have a personal laptop? Your phone is fine. Your phone is fine. Can we lay our concerns on WhatsApp, please? Because you people are not responding to. Memnat, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of comments that we're running through. So if you can send that message again, I'll be happy to answer. Um, please work out a package and schedule for pupils in military boarding schools. They do not allow devices. If you can introduce us to the decision maker in any of the schools, we are happy. We're happy to find them, go to them, make our presentation, and try to onboard their students. We can definitely do that. You just need to help us with the introduction so that we are prioritized. Will the amount be the same if you're taking two subjects? Yes, it's just one. It's one price for all. One price for all. One price for the entire 4 month for all of the subjects. So we are not charging you per subject. It's one price. One price. So I think that's about it. But I don't. Please, can I sign up by this ending? Um, I would say, Mercy, I would advise that you secure your slots first. Try to secure that slot. Then you can complete your payment end of month, but try to secure it. The slot is actually limited. So I don't want to make promises and say you can do that at end of month and you hear that we are all sold out. Lisa, how do we get the okay? So I think we've answered most of the questions. Will, okay, this question says, will there be a difference in price if you are only taking two subjects? No, it's just one price. One price. If you're taking one subject, it's one price. If you're taking all four, it's one price. So many subjects you're taking, I think uh if stuff is only applicable to those, and I think it is possible to set up preparation. I I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. And I get it. I get your sentiment. Um but yeah, watch out. Just sign up first for the math and English. But you never know. You never know. We may be able to add more, but no promises. You guys do physical classes, right? No, we don't. For this particular one, no, we don't. I think we are. I think that's about it. Um, why starting in January? Why not this month? Because we are confident that 4 months is just enough for you to prepare and pass, right? Um, Godwin, I think we've covered most of the questions.
I think
So the
so.
last, yeah, so the last thing I just want to speak on is on sponsorships and partnerships, right? So if you're a school owner and you're still on the call, or you know someone who is a school owner and you think that they would love this opportunity, we do have a package for schools, right? Of course, we're able to maybe subsidize this even further for schools, right? And also, schools get to manage their students. They have their own entire dashboard to properly manage their students. And if you are, looking to sponsor some people, maybe in your community, or you just want to pay for some people, we also have, that package for sponsors where you can also manage, your beneficiaries. So if you have your school, if you have a school you would like us to speak with, please call this number on your screen. Call this number on your screen or send a message on WhatsApp on the group, and we'll be able to, take it up from there. I think we've been able to answer all the questions, and this was a good. Okay, sorry. I visited tutorial.com, but it did not take me to where to make payments. So you need to fill that form first. Once you're done, it redirects you to the payment page. Um, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining the session today. You can follow us on all of our social media. On Instagram, it's Tuteria Corp, right? Tuteria CORP, right? On Instagram. You can send us a DM. We're always available to answer, right? We'll be sending you a follow up email of the recording of this session, right? So you can also respond to our emails, and we can take it up from there. So thank you guys so much for joining. Godwin, do you have um, a passing word to give?
I just want to say thank you all for joining and staying up until this time. And let's collectively fight this exam failure rate. Your determination should be to see that your child doesn't fail, doesn't get low performance, but actually gets the best score possible. And it's going to be you as a parent that makes it happen. If it doesn't happen, it's also going to be you who didn't do what you ought to do to make it possible. So I want us all to stand tall, and let's combat this thing together. We have done our very best, and we're willing to do much more to make sure we help as many children as possible. And we want to help your child. We want to help you particularly. So if you haven't registered, please go to the URL, www.tuteria.com/UTME, to register. Or if you want to reach out to us, please call the number on the screen. Our only aim is to make sure more students actually pass the exam. So that's why we made it affordable, we've made it easy, and we want to make sure we help as many people as possible. So thank you so much for joining, and cheers to your great success. Hope to see you on the other side of those celebrating, phenomenal excellence in JAMB scores. I hope to see your child there. And maybe you're the one who's going to win our scholarship, just like Mayowa did. If you do, if you're in the top 10, then you're going to meet me in person at the award giving day. And I'll be so excited to meet you, shake your hands, and tell you, well done for working hard. So thank you so much. We would hope to see you in class. All the best, guys.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely day.
All right. Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.